I've needed some time at the beginning to learn the use of the mimicry correctly, but then it worked nearly automatically, and I can even walk among a group of yours and nobody will recognize what I am. There is a simple switch: see us as we really are, or see us as you want to see us, in your consciousness, which was placed there from the Elohim when they created your kind. And we can use this switch to convince you that you see humans when you look at us. Other aliens use this switch too. It is easier than you think. When there are meetings between your kind and aliens, which seem to look exactly like yours, these aliens have used that switch, and some of the meetings with man-like aliens can also be explained with meetings with my kind. When I met EF the first time, he saw me also as a normal human woman, and I remember that he was very frightened and shocked when I revealed him my real appearance. Question: do you mean that you can really make me believe that I talk now with an attractive, brown-haired human woman instead of a reptilian being like you? Answer: probably, but I don't think so in your special case. When someone expects to see a human woman instead of me, I can do it without problems with his mind, even with large groups, because nobody expects to see a reptile woman. But I have allowed your mind to see me in my original appearance from our first meeting on, and I have never induced something into your mind, so you have already realized that I'm not human. If I would now try to change this, it would probably lead to absolute confusion or to unconsciousness, and I don't want to harm you. As I said, I'm not very good at these things. Question: that's very scary. Can you kill with that abilities? Answer: yes, but it's forbidden. This means not that it was not done in the previous times. Question: have both sexes these abilities? Answer: yes. Question: what about photos? How do you appear on photos? Answer: that's a silly question. I appear on photos as a reptile being, because I can't have influence on the photo or on the camera itself, but only on the photographer's mind. If he or she would develop the film and show the photo to others, they would see me in my original shape. That's the reason why it is forbidden for our kind to be filmed or photographed. And we must avoid every camera on the surface. That is very difficult. And we were filmed sometimes in the past without our knowledge, especially from certain of your governments and secret agencies. Question: what other commands can your kind induce in our minds? Something like serve us or obey? Answer: this is again a strange question. We are not your enemy, most of us not. So why should we do this? To answer your question, it depends on the strength of the human mind and on the strength of the sending reptilian. There is no serve us or serve me switch in your mind, so such a command is much more difficult to induce. If the human mind and consciousness is weak, and the reptilian inducer is experienced in these things, and was some hours in the sun before he or she tries to do it, then it could probably work for a certain time. There are secret teachings about such things, but I've never learned anything about it. I use my primary abilities for mimicry and for communication with my own kind, and sometimes for other private things, but I've never used it to harm humans or their mind. I would appreciate it if we can end with this topic here. Question: a last question. You've said earlier that you can hide your UFOs. Do you use the same abilities to do this? Answer: yes, but on a technical base. There is a powerful device inside each craft which is able to send an artificial signal to your minds to convince you that you either see nothing but only the sky, or that you see normal aircraft like planes instead of our ships. This isn't used very often because we avoid human public when we move in the atmosphere. If you are able to see our UFOs, it means that the device is either defective or deactivated for some reason. The camouflage effect didn't work on photos to answer this possible question of you already in advance, but why should someone take a photo of the sky when he could not see anything unusual there? By the way, most of the surface near entry points to our tunnels are also hidden with such a device, and your kind will generally see only normal cave walls instead of the door. That's one reason why I've said that I doubt that you'll be able to find such a secret door to our world. But it has happened a few times in the past. Question: back to your and our own history. You've mentioned the race of Elohim, who have created our human race. From where did they come? And how did they look? What exactly happened when they arrived? Are they our God? Answer: the Elohim came from this universe, from the solar system you call Aldebaran in your maps. They were a very tall humanoid species with usually blonde hair and very white skin. They avoided the sunlight because it hurt their skin and their eyes. This was absolutely unbelievable for a sun-loving species like us. They seemed to be intelligent and peaceful at the beginning, and we started a more or less friendly communication with them. But later they showed their real intentions and plans. They wanted to evolve the apes to a new breed, and we were a disturbing factor for them on their new zoo planet. At first they caught around 10,000 or maybe even 20,000 of your simian ancestors, and they left the planet for some 100 years. When they returned, they brought your now more human ancestors back. When they left Earth again for some thousands of years, and the primitive pre-humans lived together with us without major problems, they were just afraid of our aircraft and technology, the Elohim had taught their mind and enhanced their brain and their body structure, and they were now able to use tools and fire. The Elohim returned within 23,000 years 7 times and accelerated the evolution of speed of certain of your kind. You must understand that you are not the first human civilization on the planet. The first advanced humans who lived at the same time with less developed pre-humans, because the Elohim had experimented with different speeds and stages of evolution with technology, and speech existed around 700,000 years ago on this planet. Your scientists have not understood this because they found only the bones of the pre-humans and some primitive cave drawings showing advanced humans and flying devices. This genetically advanced human breed lived together with us, but they avoided contact with my kind because the Elohim teachers had warned them with misleading purpose that we are evil beings and that we lie to them. Well, after some centuries, the aliens decided to extinct their first creation, and they accelerated the evolution of a second and better test series, and so on and so on. The truth is that your modern human civilization is not the first one on this planet, but already the 7th. The buildings of the first breeds are lost, but the 5th civilization was the one which built the large triangular constructions you call Egyptian pyramids. Today, around 75,000 years ago, your Egyptians just found that large ancient pyramids in the sand and tried not very successfully to build similar constructions. And the 6th civilization was the one which built the cities, which ruins you can find today beneath the sea in the so-called Bimini area around 16,000 years ago. The last creation of the 7th breed of your series was done just 8,500 years ago, and this is the only creation you can remember and to which your religious writings refer. You rely on archaeological and paleontological artifacts which show you a wrong and short past, but how should you know anything about the 6 civilizations before? And if you find evidence for their existence, you deny and misinterpret the facts. This is partly a programming of your mind and partly pure ignorance. I will tell you in the following only about your creations, because the 6 previous mankinds are lost and therefore they should not concern you. There was a long war between us and the Elohim, and also between certain groups of the Elohim themselves, because many of them were of the opinion that the again and again creation of human species on this planet makes no real sense. The last battles in this war were fought about 5,000 years ago in orbit and surface. The aliens used powerful sonic weapons to destroy our underground cities. But on the other hand, we were able to destroy many of their surface installations and bases in space. The humans of your series were very frightened when they observed our battles, and they wrote it down in the form of religious myths. Their mind was not able to understand what was really going on. The Elohim, who appeared as gods for the 6th and 7th breed, told them that it is a war between good and evil, and that they are good, and we are the evil race. This depends certainly on the point of view. It was our planet before they arrived, and before they started their evolution project with your kind. In my opinion, it was our right to fight for our planet. It was exactly 4,943 years ago, according to your time scale, that the Elohim left the planet again for unknown reasons. This is a very important date for us because many of our historians call it a victory. Fact is, we don't know what had really happened. The Elohim were gone from one day to another. They vanished without a trace, together with their ships, and we found most of their surface installations destroyed by them. The humans were on their own, and your civilization developed. Many of us were in contact with certain more southern tribes of your species in the coming centuries, and we were able to convince some of them that we are not the evil the aliens wanted them to believe. During the time from 4,900 years ago to today, many other alien species arrived the planet. Some of them used the old teaching and programming of your mind and played again God for you. But the Elohim themselves never came back. They had left the planet for a duration of some 1,000 years also earlier, so we expect their return one day in future to end their project, or to maybe extinct also the seventh breed. But we don't really know what has happened to them, to answer this question of you in advance. Your current civilization doesn't know anything about your real origin, about your real past, about your real world and universe. And you know very little about us and our past. And you know nothing about the things to come in the near future. As long as you will not understand and believe my words, I tell you the truth because we are not your enemy, there is danger for your species. Your enemies are already here, and you have not understood. Open your eyes, or you will be in big trouble soon. If you haven't believed anything of the things I've told you before, then you should really believe and remember this. Question: why do you think I don't believe you? Answer: I have a certain feeling that you don't believe me, despite the fact that I'm sitting here in front of you. Everything I have told you in the last 2 hours is the absolute truth about our world. Question: how many alien species are active on Earth at the moment? Answer: as far as we know, 14 species. 11 from this universe, 2 from another bubble, and 1 very advanced from a very different plane. Don't ask me for names because nearly all of them are not pronounceable for you. 8 of them are not pronounceable even for us. Most of the species, especially the more advanced, are just studying you as animals, and they are not very dangerous for you and for us. And we work together with some of them. But 3 species are hostile, including the one which is in contact with some of your governments and exchanged their technology for copper and other important things, and which had betrayed your kind. There was and is a Cold War between 2 of these hostile races during the last 73 years, and the 3rd species seems to be the winner in this useless struggle. We expect a more hot war between them and you in the near future, I would say in the next 10 to 20 years, and we are worried about that development. In the last time, there were some rumors about a new 15th species, which had arrived on Earth just 3 or 4 years ago, but we don't know anything about their intentions, and we are not in contact with them until now. Maybe the rumors are wrong. Question: what do the hostile alien races want? Answer: various raw materials, including copper for their technology, your water, or better, the hydrogen in your water, which is a source of energy in advanced fusion processes, and certain chemical elements in your air. Furthermore, 2 of the species are also interested in your body, in your human tissue and blood, because their own genetic structure is defective through bad evolution and radiation as far as we know, and they need intact strings from your kind and from animals to repair their own genetic again and again. But they are not really able to repair the defects completely because their DNA and your DNA are not fully compatible. My own species is absolutely incompatible with them, so they're not very interested in us, and they try to make more compatible crossbreeds between you and them by use of artificial fertilizations and artificial wombs. We suppose that the coming war between the 3 races, or between you and one or all of them, will be fought for raw material, hydrogen, air, and DNA.